everyone. Welcome back to Low Key Not a Podcast. I'm Amanda, and today I have my two best friends from college, Rachel and Mackenzie.
Hello.
But I have them here with me today, and we're going to talk about just how we met in college and friendship and kind of how we got to where we are with our friendship today. So for those that don't know, I went to the University of Mount Union where I met Mackenzie and Rachel. And I had a very interesting experience because I ended up leaving Mount Union and like completely changed my major, and just I feel like my life completely changed because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I went to college. But I honestly fully believe that I went there to meet you two. And I feel like, seriously, I feel like God like had me there to, like, I knew I was supposed to be friends with you. And so the first question I wanted to ask you guys, which you guys have no heads up of what I'm going to ask, so which makes it more fun. I surprised you. But is what like were your expectations like when you went to college, like for friends? Because like for me, I can go first, so like you kind of know like what the answer I'm like looking for is. So like for me, it was definitely more. I had this like vision in my mind that I was gonna have this roommate, which Mackenzie was my roommate, my first roommate, and I was like, we're gonna be best friends. We're gonna do everything together. We're gonna just live life, talk forever, like buy houses next to each other one day, and like everything's just gonna be this like perfect thing. And then when I got to when I got there, we did click, but we had different majors. Your major, you were not in our, like, you had to do a lot of like shadow. I don't know what you guys did. You guys clinicals type thing.
Sorry, like clinicals almost.
Yeah. And so like for me, I was like, oh no, but I would say like my expectation was like that unrealistic, like college, like only best friend for like life. Mm-hmm. Like, so I don't know if either of you want to both share like what your expectation was.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to what Amanda said at the beginning, with like going to Mount Union, and the reason we went to Mount Union was to become friends, the three of us, because by our senior year, Rachel had left Mount Union, Amanda had left Mount Union, and I was commuting from home and was completely off campus, and we all three were doing something completely different than when we came into school with. And so really the lasting thing that we got from Mount Union that's actually still consistent, the only thing that's consistent from Mount Union probably is our friendship. So yeah. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, you're the only one that has a degree from Mount Union.
Yeah. we left you.
So Amanda left first, and then I left second semester junior year. It was not a good time. Mackenzie and I moved into this house, and we were roommates for like half a second. But then I ended up transferring home, and I lived at home, and then I went to grad school. But I feel like it really was a God thing because I met Mackenzie first. Mm-hmm. We were in our first year seminar together, and then I met Amanda because we were both pre-PA. Mm-hmm. And so like I feel like we all got linked together.
Yeah.
Without, like, I never lived with you guys except for sophomore year.
Yeah, we lived together for 1 year.
Yeah. But I don't know, back to like the friend thing. I expected like my roommate to be like my best friend and do everything together, and it did not work out that way for me. But I
remember your first roommate very clearly.
So we adopted her as our roommate even though she didn't live with us.
Yeah. You stayed in our room a lot of days.
Yeah, so I either stayed with my husband now, who was my boyfriend then, but or them a lot. So yeah. I did end up moving in second to McMaster.
Oh, yeah.
Second semester freshman year. Down the hall with somebody else. But so we were not roommates, but I expected to have a best friend, and I just found them elsewhere.
Wait, you found naked men on your floor?
I completely forgot your first roommate. As you're talking, I was thinking of your second roommate.
Because she like lives in the area where I live.
Wow.
It's okay. Hopefully she's living a better life now.
Yeah, my expectations, like when I was in high school, no one I knew from high school was going to Mount Union, even though it was like a 20-minute drive from my high school. So I was like fresh start. My friends in high school that were like my best friends since kindergarten, we kind of drifted apart, and they went in a different path. So I was really looking forward. I got really on fire for Jesus, and I was really looking for friends to help me through that walk. And Amanda, like, God definitely made us roommates, because I prayed about it. I was like, Lord, I'm going to get a random roommate. But we met in the summer. We kind of connected through Facebook Messenger. So yeah, I'm thankful for what happened.
Let me just talk about reaching Mackenzie messaging you. That is, I remember like there was that big Facebook group for like all the freshmen. Rachel, you were
Yeah, I was on there, but I did not meet you guys.
So Mackenzie made a post in there and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be a freshman. I'm from here. She said I'm looking for a Christian roommate and yada yada yada." And I was like, "Oh, I feel weird. Like I can't message her. Like I'm not the kind of person to like reach out." So I was like super like, "I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it." And Matt was like, "Just message her." And I was like, "I can't. I feel weird." Like, and so then I finally messaged you. And I remember us like we went. I forget, where did we go first?
Cedar Point.
No, that was our first double date. The first time I met you was like Panera or something.
We
In
later had a
Alliance.
horrible time at Cedar Point.
Alliance, though, I think it was because
for lunch.
I did my visit. I had a second visit and I came and met you at Panera and you were like, I like kind of already said yes to another girl.
Did I?
Yeah, remember?
I don't remember this. I think I vaguely remember meeting you.
I think she was in my major. She was in exercise science with me.
Oh, and then we kind of just
It
swapped.
didn't work. Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
She fell off. But
Yeah, that was the thing with I work with a lot of high schoolers going into college, and I always tell them like when they're going into college, like the first week of college is like such a weird phenomena where no one really knows each other and everyone's open to making friends, and everyone was super friendly, and it was like, wow, I feel like I'm in this weird planet, like
yeah.
of like, let's all be friends. And then like a week went by and then everyone had their friends and it completely, like, it was like the honeymoon phase left.
Yeah.
It was weird, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
But-
I think too, like the first week, everyone's like on fire for the school.
Yeah.
So everyone just like bled Mount Union. But then like after a week, like so many kids transferred. I remember like, or that's how you were able to move into our dorm was because of the amount of kids that transferred out after the first semester, which is like crazy that even like happens. But
and then you both transferred out 2 to 3 years.
we became part of the statistic.
Yeah.
We increased the statistic.
You and Adam, you stayed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rachel's husband
My
graduated.
husband graduated from Mount Union.
I love that you're just the one passing the microphone back and forth right
Yeah.
now. But
I don't know.
so Rachel, I have a question for you. So how like what helped you get through like having like that bad roommate, like who like wasn't what you expected, wasn't a very good roommate, and like basically like made you feel unwelcomed in your own room? Like how did you like be honest, like if it just like sucked?
I mean,
like,
she wasn't like she's not a bad person. She just,
she was a typical freshman.
yeah, I think she just like was a little bit wilder than I mean, we all three were in relationships like
For a long time.
for a long time. My husband, we met in high school. Like we went to Mount Union together, and we ended up getting married. And same with you guys. So I wasn't like wanting to like go out and meet guys and party and things like that. So for a while, I was really, really grateful for Adam's roommate, Adrian. Shout out Adrian.
Yeah, he just got married.
He just got married.
saw.
He did not care at all that like I was hanging out there all the time. But then I was trying to think like when we first started this conversation, like we met in FYS and like we were friends, but I don't really remember meeting Amanda.
You came to my room, I think. And then like she just introduced us, and then because Mackenzie told me you were joining because I didn't know about the PA club.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went with you to it.
Pre-PA, yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe I just came back to your room one day and then all of a sudden we met. And so like I just hung out with you guys and like that friend group from McMaster and Adam. And then those friends groups kind of blended.
Your next roommate, Maddie, and then Monica, they like got really close. And then we kind of had a larger friend group that all of us were kind of a part of. And then we kind of got closer and closer. Like the three of us got closer and closer. And then like Monica and Maddie got closer and closer. I don't know who else. Oh, Bridget. Which Bridget was
Caitlin.
Monica's roommate. And
Caitlin and
Oh,
Monica
yeah.
were roommates.
Oh yeah.
Bridget had a
Bridget.
different room. Bridget was our neighbor.
Oh yeah.
Yours and my
Oh
neighbor.
yeah. Okay, I remember now. It's
And
all
was
coming
it,
back.
what was her name? It was an A.
I don't remember.
Was it like Addie or Abby?
I don't.
Her roommate? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But
But then like Adam and Ian and Joe and Adrian like joined that friend group too.
Yeah.
So we kind of like
Yeah.
blended. So I just found my friends elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that makes sense. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. But yeah, you made it work. Okay, serious question. What was it like your first day walking into the calf?
Of Mount Union?
Yeah, do you remember?
No.
I remember because
don't
you
know.
guys did something for athletic training and I had to go by
Were you by
myself the one time. Guys, I will say it now. I
man.
was bitter for a little bit because I spent dinner alone a lot, and with Adrian and Ian, I had dinner dates with them. Thank God they were friends with my husband and like took care of me. But I had a lot of dinner dates with Adrian and Ian because I had no friends. But
Well, we were at athletic training, like
Yeah.
in the wrestling room,
In
in the freezing cold soccer fields. I don't know why I was doing that.
trauma. Because it's trauma.
Oh my gosh.
you went through, Mackenzie, how many degrees did you go through?
Three.
Three majors. Yeah, three majors.
Yeah, I went into college thinking like I like had a thing against people that changed their major a bunch of times. Like I was like, I'm not gonna be that person. I know what I want to do, and this is what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna do this, this, and this. And then every semester I found myself like messing around with like what other options I had, and then eventually I made the jump
Yeah.
to switch, which then led me to switch again. But I graduated a semester early somehow. I don't know how that's
I
possible.
literally don't even understand that. It's because your degree wasn't in like art.
Yeah.
You were always.
I was minoring in art. I had a scholarship for art, so I had to take art classes every semester to keep the scholarship. So that kind of helped. But
Yeah,
still,
it worked out good.
I still don't believe it.
I don't remember the first time I went to the calf. It was probably with Mackenzie after athletic training.
Do you know what I remember, like food wise? Like I feel like the food was always really good there. But the one night, the late night when we had the apple nacho bar, do you remember that? Where like they had apple slices and we like drizzled like
Oh yeah, like caramel.
yeah, it was like
The
late
late
at
night.
night. Like when he went
Yeah, the late night before the final.
Yes.
Before finals week, they like had late night in the calf. And
Yeah.
it was open till like what 1 or 2 a.m. or
yeah,
something?
and I remember like the apple bar. I miss that. I'm not gonna lie. When like we like drizzled like chocolate and like caramel and like they had like toppings and stuff that you could do. That was like
Rap Wednesdays.
yeah,
The long line for Rap
Mackenzie
Wednesdays.
doesn't remember anything.
The one thing I remember from the CAF was like the international station. And one time I got super excited about it and I put it on my tray. I didn't know what it was. And it ended up being a mushroom, like a portobello mushroom. It was disgusting.
I remember that because I thought it was so good, and I think I told you to try it. I was like, "Look at this; it's delicious." I like portobello mushrooms.
Wait, what was I gonna say? And then
ice cream.
Rachel and me were in a cooking competition.
Oh my
that we won.
gosh,
We won.
Do you remember we made fried spam?
Yeah, that was disgusting.
No, it was good.
it tasted good, but it looked disgusting.
Like spam from the can.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I'd
we went
never had
to a
it before.
cooking competition randomly. That was me, you, Monica, and
Maddie, right?
Maddie.
And
yeah,
then did you fill in for Maddie at the second one?
Which is why we lost the second one.
we went to like Worcester for it.
Because remember, I kept calling it Worcester. Isn't it called something else?
Worcester?
Worcester, yeah.
It's Worcester.
We called it Worcester, and then remember the guy driving us?
or Worcester?
Worcester. Yeah, I remember the
I think it's
chef. His name
Worcester.
was like Corey or something. Was like
I don't know
it's-
how you remember
He was
that,
like
but-
it's like Worcester. He was like it's Worcester, and we kept calling it Worcester.
But yeah, we did not win, but we did do a cooking competition.
Yeah, we won Mount Union, so at least we were better than the other people at Mount Union.
Yes.
And then we went to some weird whatever that
I
college
think we went to
was.
Worcester.
The amount of times we just said Worcester. But yeah, we went there and then we lost there. But that was, remember we made like a coconut thing at the dessert. Like I remember it being really good. The coconut.
I don't like
it was
coconut.
like coconut shrimp or something. It was really good.
Yeah, I don't like
I
coconut.
remember eating it because this was before I was gluten free, sadly. But I could eat anything. But yeah, that was fun. But I had another question. Oh, so you went to school for athletic training. You
Yeah.
You ended up changing to psychology, correct? Then you switched colleges and finished your psychology.
Yeah, I have a psych degree.
And then you went to get your master's
I have a
in
doctorate. Thank you.
doctorate, my bad. And occupational therapy. I remember you had the fancy hat at your
Yeah.
graduation.
Yeah, it's called a TAM.
Oh, does it stand for something or is it just TAM?
No, that's what it's called.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so I started at Mount Union as athletic training major, which that's how Mackenzie and I met. But I was always at Mount Union. I was pre-PA. So like I wanted to go to PA school. I think Did you want to go to PA?
I did. I know.
No, you just wanted to be athletic
I
training.
wanted to do occupational. I wanted to do occupational
And then it was
therapy after
physical-
athletic
it was
training.
physical therapy
Or
for a
physical
little
therapy.
bit.
Physical therapy,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it switched to occupational therapy, and then it switched to art therapy, hence the art degree. And
Oh, and you wanted to be an art illustrator there for a hot second.
yeah, to illustrate like the books that we were studying in athletic training.
So yeah, so I was pre-PA, and then like sophomore year, I decided I did not want to go to PA school. I think I really just didn't want to take OChem. But
You didn't have to take it for OT?
no, I took Chem 1 and Chem 2, but not OChem. So then I changed and I was OT. And then at that point, like, it didn't really make any sense to be athletic training. And there was like a bunch of stuff that was happening with the program at that point. Like, it was maybe not going to be accredited, and like it was like falling apart. Yeah. And so I changed to psych because I was a psych minor, and I hated the psych major at Mount Union. It was just so much bigger than athletic training. None of the professors knew me. I walked into like my advisor. What? I walked into like my advisor's like office or whatever for that year, like scheduling classes, and she was like, "What's your major?" She didn't know if it was like psych or social work or whatever, like human family science, or like they had 3 in that. And I was like, she's my advisor and she doesn't know my major. And so
And the least she could have done is just like look down at the paper. Or,
Yeah.
like, her computer that clearly probably had what you were doing.
So I think that was like the first like I was like, wow, I don't really want to be here and do this. And you had left by that point.
Yeah.
Mackenzie moved home, and I was living in a house like with 2 other people, which it was fine. And then Adam broke up with me. My husband.
The biggest mistake of his
Should we get into that?
It was horrible.
I remember driving out there.
Were
I
you
was distraught.
No.
That happened after you just.
It was after I
was-
decided. Well, no, that was after because
It was right after you moved out because I think that, or you
My-
were getting ready to move out.
I was
or
getting ready to
something.
move out, and Adam was getting ready to go to Poland
Yeah.
to study abroad.
Yeah, because we
And-
said, why would he do it before he like left? Like,
Yeah, so he was going to study abroad. Actually, I remember specifically we were planning a New York trip, and we were going to go there because he needed to get a student visa, and we were planning it, and then all of a sudden he just like broke up with me. He regrets it to this day if anyone's asking.
we'll
And-
have him in the hot seat next time. We'll break this apart.
I was just thinking about it. I remember you calling me, and I drove over to your house like immediately, like someone had died. Like this was an emergency. I was like, "Stop everyone! What I'm doing, I have to go."
I'm dead.
Rachel, it was horrible.
It was horrible. But anyway, so I moved out. Like my dad and my brother came up and moved me out, and then I left and went home. Adam and I are from the same place, so I moved home and just transferred to Teal, and I was a psych major at Teal, and I graduated in 4 years. I did not like get delayed, and then I went to Slippery Rock and got my doctorate in occupational therapy, and I work as an occupational therapist now.
When did Adam come back?
It was before he went to Poland. It was like, I forget, that was like winter break because I started at Teal in like December or January, or like whenever you start spring semester. So I was actually at a friend's house for like a party, like a family friend of my it's actually my brother's best friend's house. And he texted me and he's like, "Can we talk?" And he came and picked me up, and we went to like McDonald's or Sheetz or something and got food, and we just talked, and we got back together, and I went home, and my mom was so mad at me because I didn't tell her where I went. He picked me up there, and then I texted her and said that Adam picked me up, and she was so mad. I think she's forgiven him now.
Yeah.
She loves him now.
Hopefully now
But-
they're married.
Yeah,
Almost 2 years.
it was a rough time. I think he was just so freaked out about leaving. We'd never been apart. Like we started dating freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
We went to college together. We went to Mount Union together, and then he was leaving to study abroad in Poland.
Yeah.
It's like we'd never been apart, and I was leaving and going back to Teal.
Yeah.
That was kind of all decided. My mom still blames me transferring home on Ellie.
That's her dog.
That's my dog. I adopted. Well, we asked the guy like if we could get a dog, like the landlord, and he said yeah. like he didn't care about a dog or whatever. So I adopted a dog from the Stark County Humane Society, and then apparently the guy who was our landlord had Alzheimer's or something. Do you remember this? He had dementia.
Mackenzie lived in that house for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, she did move out by then. But the landlord like had dementia or whatever, and the wife was like, nobody ever told you could get a dog. And so they
I remember she did a lot of weird things too, like with payment and stuff too.
Yeah.
Right?
So they made Ellie move out. And so Ellie went to live with my parents, and then I went to live with my parents.
And the house situation for me, like my family came and helped deep clean this house and like helped me move in, and I like lived in there for maybe a week and was like, I made the wrong decision, and they moved me out that weekend. Like it was ridiculous. And I felt that it was a hard decision because I knew I let my friend down. But I didn't sign a lease, and I didn't like, it wasn't going to affect their bills that much. Like their payments were the same for the rent. Maybe electricity would have been a little bit more expensive for you, but oh my gosh, it's funny that we brought this up because I was just telling a friend about it. Like, cause that situation, like God was teaching me, I didn't have peace about the decision, and I was trying to justify it, and I was going back and forth, and I had all the reasons why it was okay to do. And then it was the wrong choice. So I had to backtrack on what I did.
Yeah.
So I lived at home my last year and a half. And then Rachel, which it all worked out. If I would have stayed in the house, maybe Rachel would have stayed and wouldn't have gone back home. You know, like everything worked out.
I think it was even good for us to like even separate a little bit, because I always think it's good to like change things up, and like so you don't get comfortable in where you're at, and like to help you grow. Because I feel like I'm definitely a person where like I like meet people when I like, it's almost weird, I'm like an extrovert, but I feel like I meet people when I like need to know people, or like when I feel like I need friends. But then like once I like have those people, like once I had you guys as friends, it was like, okay, I don't need anybody else. So like I don't need to make more friends because I have my 2 friends right here and I'm good. And then it got to the point where I was like, oh crap, like I had no one to eat with, like in the cafeteria. So I was, like I would not eat, or I'd eat oodles and noodles, or whatever they're called, ramen noodles. We used to call them oodles and noodles growing up, but like I would eat ramen by myself. Like I'd eat it in our room because I'm like, I don't want to leave our room, or I would go buy food somewhere else so I could eat in our room. But then it pushed me to, I became friends with Macy, who ended up living with you in the house, like later on.
We all had connections. And then I ended up catering her wedding last month.
Yeah, it's like crazy how that works. But yeah, I met Macy and became really good friends with her. And then I was like, oh crap, I just made friends with someone, now I'm going to leave. But you can't turn down free tuition, I guess. But it is crazy though, like how everything worked out. And I think it's like really cool too, like before, like even, I didn't even know this was where the conversation was going to go. I thought we were just going to talk about friendship, but I was like, it's kind of cool to see that like we literally had, like, looking back, I don't remember now where I'm at being so confused. And so like, heck, like I don't remember all the chaos. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I jokingly, whenever I tell people about like my college journey, I call it my mid-college crisis. Because it really was. Like I changed what I wanted to do forever, and then I transferred home, and then like I don't know, it just all was a whirlwind. But honestly, like it was the best thing for me because I lived at home. I was able to get a part-time job at a place like that was good for me. It was good for my application. Like I don't know that I got into every OT school that I applied to, and I feel like it was because of
the experience.
Yeah. And I don't know, it just all worked out.
Yeah.
It's
I know
crazy.
you were like, I was driving home a lot of the weekends, one to see Matt.
Yeah.
Matt was there.
Adam was with me, but yeah.
And 2 to work, because it was hard getting a job, and the on-campus job paid you like $7 an hour.
I worked at the Walk, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Didn't you like tutor too?
No, it was kind of the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The college experience, I feel like it's so hyped up and people focus on it way too much. Like someone we know from college even stayed a whole nother year when they could have graduated early just because they didn't want to let go of it. And so like with me not staying in the house and moving out, like that was a decision for the next stage, you know, like looking ahead at like graduating early and then getting married. Like my husband and I had, which also we met in high school, sophomore year of high school. He went to a different college. And then we ended up getting married the spring that we graduated. which we both graduated early, so we had that time to work. And then in May got married. And so if I had been living and like paying rent, I would have learned how to cook, which would have helped my marriage a little bit better. But I wouldn't have been able to save up so much. We saved up a lot and had a really good start that set us ahead. And now we're in a pretty good place. How long has it been since we graduated? 5 years?
I went to 3 years of
5 years.
school, and I've been out
Okay,
for
4 or 5 years. I don't know.
How many years? I don't even know when did I graduate.
5 years.
2020 is spring of 2020 is when we were like
Dang,
to
so this-
graduate. So this will
So
be,
this spring is going to
will
be 5 years.
Yeah.
We're getting old. Ew.
We were just discussing how old we were. That we're in our late 20s now.
Think about
know.
when we graduated college. That's almost been 10 years.
I know.
Are you in high school?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that is.
2016.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Too. 2016.
Anyway,
kinda crazy.
Yeah, we all three like had separate college journeys, and we're all in good places now.
It's like cool though because I feel like neither of
We're
us,
all-
we never what we went for. We all like changed a bunch of different times. You know what I mean? Like we changed and we questioned and we like figured it out, and it wasn't the path that we thought it was going to be. And I feel like when you're in it, you're like, I literally remember like being like but like I don't remember the pain, and like I just remember crying. And like now looking back, I'm like I was probably so dramatic, and like it felt like the world was ending, and like but like I look back now and I'm like it was such a good, like I learned so many things like doing it. And
Probably did feel like the world was ending because they expect you're like 17, 18 years old when you graduate high school, and they expect you to pick what you want to do for the rest of your life, and you're like set that way, and then you change it, and everybody's freaks out, and you feel like a failure.
And then they ask you what you're majoring in, and you say art, and then they're like, "Oh, and what are you doing when you graduate college?" And then I would say, "I'm working in an ice cream shop," and then they would be like, "Double." And I really had to overcome that. Yeah, like it was me. I also had to overcome it myself because I almost had my own feelings against it. You know, like 'cause your identity is like in what you're doing, what your career is at the time, what you're majoring in. So that was really cool to have to overcome. And now I'm like super proud of what I do. And I also have learned, and then I'm able to teach the young kids who work at Almost Heaven about that, you know? So it's pretty cool.
I think it's even cool too, like you're teaching people even like loyalty because you've been there, like you've been like, granted they've treated you well, and I don't ever think someone should stay in like a job where like they get abused by like the boss or anything, but like you've worked there, you've earned your position there, and like you've been loyal to the company, and like you've like stretched yourself into like who you are today. So it's like you've learned a lot there, you know. And I think it's even like cool, like the people that are underneath you to see, like it almost gives them like, oh, like I could be like Mackenzie one day if I just like grind it out here now, just like, you know, you're just scooping the ice cream now, or they're just taking, like they're just sitting at the register now. But like if they really wanted to, like it's cool to see that like there is growth in the company, and like they've opened so many locations.
And that ice cream is a business, so they're learning these skills. And that is our mission as like the leaders, to pour into them and prepare them for whatever their goals are. Like we have a lot of people come through who want to like be a doctor, a surgeon, or a chiropractor. One of them that I worked with starting out wanted to be a chiropractor. He's now a chiropractor. And so it's cool because it is the foundation. It's like a lot of their first job ever. It was my first job ever. So
Yeah.
I have
Cool
gone
you kept
through
your
all
first
the
job ever.
I know.
I feel like I've gone through, I think
It's
I've had
crazy.
like 4.
It's kind of nuts.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah. And and that just also shows, I feel like there's an expectation that when you graduate college, you're going to make this much money. And I think that that's a false expectation. And there is a lot to do with experience and like working your way up and like really working your butt off. And like, also there's like, when I went into school, I felt like it was like, okay, you either have to go for engineering or nursing or something like that to make a good living. And what I've learned now is you can actually work your way up. And actually, if you learn about management and how to lead people, that will set you up for success because like in the food industry and like fast food industry, start as a cashier, you work your way up and you can end up making 6 figures, really.
Yeah.
And no one's telling you about that when you're in high school. So
No, I know. They're just like, put these flashy jobs in front of you and they make you think you need like all these degrees. I mean, even now, like I think people nowadays, like even now I hear so many people say like, I want to make money like quick and like fast. And it's like, but like, that's not how life works out at all. Like,
Scripture about it.
yeah. And like, even like too, I think people like look down on like influencers, and like we become friends with a couple people who have like become influencers, and based on the nature of our job, are trying to get in those circles to help the businesses know, like, you know, to like pay them to help promote their business and stuff. And like talking to the amount of work that those people put in, that people think, oh, they just take like a video or picture themselves. It's like, no, they're on their phone all day. They're constantly coming up with ideas. And like, let me tell you, if you're not a creative person, that's like extremely hard to do, is constantly think of a new trend and like how to get people like wanting to engage in something and not be boring. And like, even just like moms, like how they like there's a lot of like moms that are like unbox things and like do reviews and stuff. Like that stuff still takes a lot of time, and those editing apps are not easy. I hate using them. Hence why my husband does all the editing and photography and videography. But like, I think that's the thing too, though, is that everyone just wants like the quick, easy, like I want it now, and like I just want to make the money now, and they don't want to like wait it out and like have like be like, it's almost like it's almost like being like steadfast. Like
It's like instant gratification versus delayed gratification.
yeah.
This world is an instant gratification world.
Oh, for
People
sure.
want it now and they want it quickly, but it doesn't always work out that way.
No, not at all. Which is like kind of crazy. But and then for you, like you're like a freaking professional over here. Wait,
It's kind of wild.
this sounds kind of weird, but you know how like they say like white collar job? Is that you're not a white collar job? Adam's a white collar job, right?
I don't really know. I'm not a blue collar job.
What's a blue collar?
That's like people who work in like manufacturing.
Okay. I thought white collar was like, I think it's like, isn't it like finance? Like how Adam's
I
like
think
a
it's just
finance
like
person?
business, or like they're supposed to be like
Executives, or
Oh, okay.
maybe even doctors. I would say.
I know. So
White
you like a white collar? I always like wondered that. Like,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It is crazy that people think that, or that I'm a person of authority on something.
I know. It is crazy that like it's really cool too. Like I don't know, like we have a friend who's like a pilot, and I'm like, oh, it's like so cool that like we know a pilot. Like he flies.
Oh my
people.
gosh. I went to high school with this kid, and he works for Southwest Airlines now, and like he was such a goofy person.
Yeah.
And he's a pilot now. He works for Southwest. He's like, he could be flying the plane that you were on.
I know.
I told Adam one time, I was like,
Southwest next week.
I told Adam one time, I'm like, if John is flying this plane, I think we need to get off. I
know.
But it's crazy that we're at an age now that like people who are our age are doctors and lawyers and
Yeah.
pilots, and they complete tasks in the world that
I know.
people trust them.
Surgeons.
I know.
Surgeons.
It's crazy. My cousin is our age, and he's getting married. When is he getting married? I think in like February. I don't know. I'm going to his fiance's shower in a couple weeks. But he's marrying. I don't even care if they see this. I still can't believe he's marrying a freaking doctor. But she's like a doctor, like went to med school and everything. And I'm just like, it's like wild that she like did that. Granted, she's a little bit older than him. So like, but she like just graduated and stuff. And like, I'm just like, she has her crap together. Like, why is she marrying like my cousin? But it's so funny. But it's like crazy to think though, like people around our age are like professionals. Cause like, I don't know. I feel like when you're in like high school and stuff, you're just like you see the people who like, I feel like the people who like, everyone thought was going to be like these huge success stories. A lot of them are just kind of like just your average day. Like a couple of them are nurses, a couple of them are stay-at-home moms, like, or they're just doing like these casual jobs. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's nothing crazy. And then you have like those goofbally weirdos that like, or the kids that like thought like you like were like, oh, like they're going nowhere. Even like people who went in the trades. It's like people in the trades, man, they were smart.
Yeah.
They're way smarter than us. Like they have no debt and they are like making bank. Like, but you know, it was so frowned upon when we were like, I remember like it was almost like looked down upon to do that, which is so sad. Cause like that's just something they're good at. Like that's their gift.
Yeah, and I think that that's changing. Like I feel like our parents' generation kind of push college. Like you aren't going to be successful if you don't have college, because that was true for their generation. But now something's shifting where like when we have kids, like we need to let them kind of just do I think that's what I'm going to do is like, you can go to college. It's a tool if that's where you want to get to, or you can do this. You can be successful in many different ways. Like it's not limited to just one route. So I'm excited to see the shift.
Yeah, me and Matt said with our kids, we want to get a rental for each kid, and like from the year that Lick and we obviously don't have a rental now for her, so she's the first kid, so she's the experiment kid. But we wanted to have like a rental for each kid and like have so much money saved up, and it almost be like enough for them to like go to college. And if they can either use it for college or not, but then they get the house and they can either live in it, they can rent it, they can do whatever they want with it, but it's their house. And because we were saying like that's like that's like if like Anaya's gift is in like she thinks like us like I want to start new businesses and I want to do this and I want to do that, but she needs the income. It's like there's her set income so she can do whatever business venture she wants to do. That like our parents blessed us to like help us with our house and to help us get steady, and that we were able to like move in. And I mean I have debt, but it could be a lot worse since my mom had the job at Geneva, but we wanted to be able to give them like something that they can either go work, they can take the money and go to college, or they could do whatever. Because like it is, some jobs you do need to go to college. Like I'm not completely against college. Like you do need to go. Like for you needed to go to college.
Yeah, I couldn't do my job if I didn't go to college.
Yeah,
but I sometimes wish that like I wanted to do something that I didn't have to go to school.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Neither of my parents went to college. I'm a first generation college student, and my brothers didn't either. They both work in the trades. My parents were very much like.
They were so proud of you.
No, but I'm just saying like they were just like, you do what you want to do. And if that includes college, then cool. If not,
yeah.
Then my dad, he was a truck driver for a while, and then he now runs / is planning to own a diesel mechanic shop. He works with my cousin. My little brother works for him, and my older brother is a machinist. So
that's awesome.
They both work in the trades, and so I feel like, yeah, in our family, it's just like if something that you want to do includes college, then do it. But if not, then there's other options out there.
Yeah. No, I think that's like awesome. I remember just being so proud of you, like at your graduation.
Yeah, they came to my college graduation.
Yes. I was like, oh my God, my friend's a doctor. I thought I was so cool. I thought I was cool just for you. But
and now we ask her all of our medical questions.
Yeah, we do. We text her like every time I go to the doctor. Like I feel like we're always asking you, what's this mean? What's that mean?
They forget that I'm a doctor of occupational therapy, not a physician.
In the car before Mackenzie came in the car, I was asking Rachel. I was like, so like I went to like a urologist, and like this is what they said. Like, do you think I should get PT or like no for like because like after a baby you like pee yourself. And I randomly, like, I don't feel it. And then I'll go to the bathroom and I'll be like, oh my gosh, there's like a little bit of pee in my underwear.
See, that's a question I can answer. It's related to therapy.
Yeah. So that was like a good question to ask her. But my other questions about, like, I was like telling her all my blood work. And like, I'm like, do I go to an endocrinologist? Do I go to an OB? But so I do kind of ask everybody one of the similar questions. It's kind of like, what advice would you give someone based on like what we talked about in each like segment, each like episode. So for you guys, I thought I'd ask you, what advice would you give to someone who was like us? They're like 18, 19, getting ready to go to college. What advice would you give them with like just going into college, like the mindset to have, like being overwhelmed, being excited? Like what's one thing that you would have wanted to hear from someone going into college, or like wanting to know going into college?
This is advice that my papa gave me, who thankfully paid for my college. So when I switched my major to art, like he was a big deal of like who I needed to communicate with, of like, I'm making this change. Like I felt like I owed him something. Like I don't want to disappoint you. And he was so loving and did not like make me feel stupid at all or anything. And he just said, great, it's a tool. College is a tool for you. If this is a tool that you're going to put in your tool belt to get to where you need to get to and like help you be successful, then that's phenomenal. And like, he was proud of me, I think. And he still is. Like, I think he's proud of me when I talk to him about almost heaven and ask a lot of business questions. And like, he is so wise. Like one sentence comes out of his mouth and I'm like, I use it at work and it like solves problems. I'm like, wow, I need to talk to you more often.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tool in your tool belt, it's not the end all be all. So don't like grasp onto that and like think like I need to do this, like, because if plans change, or if you do switch your major, or need to change your mind, or you feel led to do something else, like it's okay. Just do it.
That's a good perspective.
I feel like you just need to have an open mind. Like, you can have a plan when you go into college and like this is what you want to do for your whole life, but like be open minded that sometimes plans change and you change sometimes.
that's for
Like
sure.
I'm a completely like not completely. I'm a different person than I was at 18 whenever I graduated high school. So just like you change and expect your plans to change along with them.
Yeah, I think that's both really great advice. So thank you guys for spur of the moment letting me bring you on my podcast. You guys are my best friends and I wanted to share you with the world. And I think you're both so wise, and I don't know, I'll probably have you on again because I just feel like there's so much we could talk about because we've been through going into college, not knowing what we want to do, changing our majors, our boyfriends that we thought were going to be forever break up with us and they get back together with us.
It was still
marriage.
forever.
Now kids, like I had trouble getting pregnant and like I had a miscarriage, and you guys like I remember like you guys like helped me through it, prayed me through it, like so we have so much stuff to talk about, so I'll probably be on again. But like I appreciate you guys so much, and you know, I think our friendship is like I always feel like I don't know, like we talked about this in the car, like I feel like there's like this expectation for friendship to be a certain way, and we all live in a triangle an hour apart from each other there, and to meet in the middle is still 45 minutes for us and each, and I think that, you know, it's still so good that like I feel like I forget sometimes that like, you know, we Marco Polo and we send videos of our kids to each other and pictures and we still talk, and I think, you know it's your person when you haven't talked in a month and you get together and you can just pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
And you know, like it's so underrated that, and so I just like appreciate you guys for always being those people for me. And you know, today's my birthday, so I'm feeling very like
Happy birthday, Amanda.
I'm like very appreciative.
This is your birthday present.
Yeah.
This is so fun. I was nervous at first, but like I think all best friends should sit down and do a podcast together because it was like a little bit of memory down memory lane and then a little bit of just chatting. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. Thanks. A lot of fun. Yeah.
I feel like this didn't go in the way that you wanted it to, but
It worked out good.
we talked about college and less about friendship.
So
but
there has to be a part 2.
Yeah, part 2 coming soon.
part 2 coming soon.
Thanks for watching my podcast, and make sure you subscribe. And if you're listening right now, make sure to tune into the YouTube because there is a video at the end of that podcast where we will be trying different drinks and we have to guess where they're from. It's coffee, and it's from Dunkin', Starbucks, a local business here in Beaver County, and then McDonald's. So make sure you tune into that on YouTube. All right, so we have, I don't know what the order is, but if I said it perfectly the first time, we have, I'm gonna try to make my prediction before we taste it, but we have Starbucks, Dunkin', Coffee Beanery, and McDonald's coffees here. They're iced caramel coffees, to keep them all plain and simple, because I feel like caramel's like a similar flavor.
That's our go-to.
Yeah, it's our go-to, and I feel like it's similar at all the places. So the most pumpkin, I can definitely tell different pumpkins. But and we're gonna try to guess which is which. As you've seen the trend on Instagram. So Rachel, I'll let you go sip first. Close your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes.
That's Starbucks.
Rachel is a big cheater.
That's really sweet. I don't know.
Is it harder than you thought?
That's Dunkin'.
I know, I feel like Dunkin' always has like a distinguished taste.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Starbucks, the local one, Coffee Beanery, Dunkin', McDonald's.
Okay, what if we all get this right?
All right, Amanda, you're up.
I don't want to hear her predictions because if it's like, I'm gonna.
Oh, that's definitely Starbucks. I don't know why I kept my eyes closed.
means we have a problem. We get them all right.
Holy, why was that so sweet?
I know. That's what I said.
What did you guys?
The Coffee Beanery or whatever.
I'm gonna say that's McDonald's.
It was too, like... I'll tell you.
I know, I think I agree. I think that one's Dunkin'.
We should have made
Oh, wait. That's McDonald's.
We should have made Matt switch them up.
Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, so we were.
This one was Starbucks. What's this one?
Put you on a time limit.
I know. Okay, I lied. Starbucks or no?
Oh my gosh. This is your last chance.
Lock in your answers, Amanda.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Starbucks. I'm gonna say Coffee Beanery, Dunkin', McDonald's.
Okay, Mac, you're up.
I feel like I said the same thing as you, but I feel like I'm wrong. That really sweet one's throwing me
I feel
off.
like I know that's coffee beanery because it's like real caramel.
I know, but I
And
feel like
I'm not gonna say my
I
predictions
like
until I
Dunkin'
taste them.
caramel though.
It's not like flavored caramel.
Dunkin's-
It's not caramel syrup though.
Dunkin' is
It's caramel drizzle.
They all thought that was Dunkin', but I don't think it is.
Mackenzie has an advantage because she's tall.
That one tastes a little watered down.
That's not an option.
I know. I'm like second it now. I feel like
My
I
first
wanna
sip, I
change-
thought that was Dunkin', but then now I'm thinking this one is.
I know. I think you're right. That's where I was. I think the first one's Dunkin'. And I think the last one's Starbucks. And I think
I can take the
and I think this one. I think this one is McDonald's.
Stop. I was gonna say, I'm not saying if you're right or not, but I was gonna say let her do hers.
No, I know. Mackenzie's gonna get it right.
She's got the
That one's okay.
superior palate.
The ice cream tasting palette.
Oh man, it changes every time I take a sip. It depends on what I just drank. Is that okay? I'm just gonna guess. Dunkin', Starbucks. You guys all tasted the beanery one beforehand, but I didn't.
I didn't either.
Oh, okay. And you guys know what the beanery is.
Yeah, I know it is.
I've had coffee.
But I think I was wrong.
What is it? McDonald's versus the
I
beanery?
think I was wrong too.
I'll say McDonald's and the beanery. All right.
You guys want to reveal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are terrible.
Can I move it?
Wait. Can I change my answer?
No.
Why? Everybody else got to think about it.
That's fine.
That's
That's
it.
coffee beanery. I can tell from the straw.
Oh my gosh.
So wait,
my gosh.
we got this right though. You and me got this one right.
No.
No, you didn't.
I said this
The
one.
only one you
And
got
I
right.
should've known that because it was so sweet.
I didn't get any of them right.
Your first try, you got McDonald's correct,
Yeah, it's because it was so
but then you
sweet.
switched it.
Because it threw me off because you don't
I
like sweet
said
coffee.
that. I was like, wow, McDonald's is going to be so sweet. And then I tasted the really sweet one.
Did I say this was Dunkin'?
Yeah.
And that was Starbucks.
Dunkin',
I said that was
Dunkin', I don't remember
They did a
tasting
good
like
job.
this.
It's watery. That's why.
That's why. I was so confused why it tasted like that. My Dunkin's never tasted like that.
It's a good Dunkin'.
This is definitely Starbucks. This is definitely the best one. I should have known this.
Yeah.
This is the best one. I should have known this was Coffee Beanery.
That was the best one.
It was the best one for sure. So there you have it. Coffee Beanery.
I kind of feel like Dunkin's
has
the best one.
coffee. I like Coffee Beanery. It tastes like coffee to me.
Which one's your
That was really
favorite?
smooth.
I know. That's what I feel like.
McDonald's one is so sweet. I can taste the espresso in that one.
You want to say something before we end
Oh,
it?
I don't really
Oh,
know. Thanks
sorry.
for watching.
That was fun. We are.